I saw that the website is there.
It was hacked, so it just happened yesterday night. So we are trying to get it back up. Just as it, don't go today. But 24 hours will be up. It'll be up in 24 hours. Just the timing of this, we couldn't move the press conference. But it'll be up. So
But you guys know from where come this attack, or how to stop this, how to intervene in that attack?
Well, we're going to fix. I mean, it's not a. We hosted this website outside of Qualcomm, so it's not within Qualcomm. So primarily because it's an external-facing website. So I think we don't know. I mean, I think the answer is we don't know. We'll get it up and running. It doesn't have anything sensitive there or anything else like that. So it's just at this point, you know, it has all the materials, the marketing materials and things like that for QPrize, which I'm going to go through anyway. So what is QPrize? QPrize we started QPrize almost 4 years back, and the idea there was to tap into very early stage innovation and across the globe. So we have 7 different regions that are participating this year, and what happens is the way it works is we open it up to very early stage companies. They submit their plans, and then in a regional basis there is a winner that's selected. So there'll be a winner for the US, for China, for India, for Brazil, Israel, all the regions will have a winner that will get $100,000 in a convertible note. It's a very clean and entrepreneur-friendly form of funding. We don't have anything associated with it. It just converts into the next round of equity. It's a very standard note. And then what we do is we basically get all of the grand prize winners, all of the winners from the regions, and then we bring them over to the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, and then we have what we call a sort of a grand prize competition. So one of the 7 winners will then win an additional $150,000. But I think the other thing there is we have the regional finals, but then we also the grand finals is a very high visibility event. So we try to team up with a big conference to not only give them the money, but to showcase the company and get them a lot of press. Really get more awareness about the company, not just getting the money. So this time, the finals is in San Francisco, along with Bloomberg's Next Big Thing conference. This is a premier event that's invite only, so it's not really, so unless you're invited, you can't even get there. So very high quality participants for the event, and the finalists, all of them will have some stage time. So they'll come and be able to speak for a few minutes and then talk about their respective companies, and then we'll choose one winner. But the idea there is that, yes, the one winner will get an additional $150K, but all the winners get a lot more publicity by coming there. We also make introductions with VCs that are there, other partners in the ecosystem. So it's really, the point here is we're giving them early stage funding so that they can then go raise their Series A at some point in time. That's the point, is we're trying to maximize the chances of getting the startups to their next funding round. Again, we talked about our goals. We really want to promote access to early stage capital for mobile companies across the globe there. So what is the track? I think we have, next slide is likely the track record. Oh, this is who can apply. You know, we've got some limitations. We don't want companies that have raised $10 million to apply, so we are looking for early stage companies. So here we've defined it as anybody who's raised less than $2 million. The company should be already incorporated, must be ready to launch once we get their funding. And there's some other rules that once the site is up, you guys can see. What kind of businesses we are targeting? I think all the areas that I mentioned that we already invest in, but I mean, once in a while we get surprised by ideas that come through, so it's not limited. It does have to have some relevance to mobile, how to improve mobile or use mobile in a different vertical. So I think since that's our focus, it has to evolve to something related to mobility. But otherwise, we're fairly open as to what you present. So as I mentioned, here, let me see if there's apply. I think I went through all 8 finalists. Yeah, I talked everything else, and then let's do. I think we're talking about a little bit of the successes. So I said this is the 4th one. So we've had 3 previous ones, And when we first started, didn't have Brazil and a few other regions, so we only had 4. Next time we had 11. We had 6, and last time we had 7. So what are the results? So from the inception, the winners of the QPrize, so these collective folks have gone on to raise $87 million. So they've gone on to raise subsequent follow-on funding in the tune of almost $87 million. In fact, if we go back a couple of slides, I think the track record is that, let me see if I have the track record here.
100% of the first edition.
Yeah, so 100% of the first edition, it's
That
it's
poster
there.
over
Yeah,
there,
it's
yeah.
there.
80% of the second edition.
80% of the 2011 batch have gone on to raise subsequent funding. And then 2012 is really early, so this was done last June, so it's less than 6, it's like 7 months now. Approximately 38% of the class of 2012 has already raised follow-on funding. One of them has actually got acquired also. So again, and then I think, as we mentioned, not only have the winners raise money, but what happens is when we do these competitions, we try to invite local VCs to judge them. So we have basically some, like in Brazil, for example, there might be 8 finalists out of which one will be chosen winner. But the VCs get to see all the 8 companies. And some of the VCs may say, we like the winner, but we also like the second place or the third place. And what's happened because of that exposure is the folks who made it to the finals have also raised money. In fact, some of them raised more money than these guys. So we're not saying, the company we choose is the winner. What we're saying is the company, we have to choose one winner, obviously, but all the companies that make it to the final are really credible companies because they go through a lot of screening process. And that's validated by the fact that the VCs have given money to even the companies that necessarily didn't win. So it's a really good exposure for the companies that apply to this program, and that's why we encourage, even if you don't win in the final, you just get a lot of exposure. And then if you do get into the final winner, you get the money, the jumpstart, but you get a lot of help. We get a lot of exposure. We make a lot of introductions to our fellow VC partners that may lead to future funding. So all of that is available through the program.
Just to clarify, sorry.
Yes.
So the previous slide, so that everybody's here. So this 87 million was raised by the past QPrize.
Yes.
2013.
No.
The
So no, the three
three
combined. Yes.
All right.
All
3 editions.
The 3 editions combined have raised 87 million through subsequent funding.
Okay, right. And then the finalists raised 153.
The finalists is 153. We also have one stat which the exits of all the people who have finals is over $350 million in terms of, that's a stat that's there.
Yeah.
So overall, again, this is not meant to essentially be necessarily a Qualcomm program in terms of we are trying to make a lot of money out of it. The point is to help the ecosystem, and the more players on the mobile side that are able to raise money, get their technologies to market, that sort of benefits Qualcomm indirectly. So, let's see. I think the last slide really, this was the winner of the, that's probably not good. Let me see if I can. Sorry. Carlos, you want to talk about this one?
Sure, yeah, so last year the winner for we only participated in the 3rd edition. It's a company based out of Rio called Zoop. Actually, the entrepreneurs were living in the US, they've since relocated to Brazil. And Zoop is developing a mobile payment platform. Very interesting, so along with our monies, they raised some additional money from other investors as well. We actually had a meeting with them last night.
Yep.
They give us an update on business, so they're coming up on some exciting, interesting business opportunities in terms of customers, et cetera. So still a pre-revenue company like many of these, right? But that's exactly part of it. With our money and other investors' money, they basically have been able to continue to fund product development. And again, they're coming up to a point of getting some commercial agreements. And they've also yesterday mentioned that there are some investors who are really interested in interested in sort of putting more money in the company and lead the Series A round, which is ultimately what we call at least initially a success for these companies. So we do the initial funding and then they attract attention, etc. So they're doing well, and hopefully they'll be able to raise their Series A and continue to grow. So But that's them, and you know, we're looking forward to this year's results as well for QPrize.
That was actually the last slide here, so happy to take any questions that come about now, or I think later if there's any other things. I'm keeping this slide because it looks good. Yes.